Okay, in this video, I am doing the second part of how to play the solo of The Final Countdown by Europe. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to see more. Okay, so I have an update. I did a video yesterday that's up here somewhere, or maybe it's just in my playlist, that I showed you how to play this first part. I have a little bit of an update there. I've made it a little easier, but I'm going to show you how I do it now. I'll take my, for instance, I'll take my middle finger and I put it on the 12th fret of the B, just like I did, and then I take my pointer finger and put it on the 10th fret of the E, just like I did. But what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to have to take them off at all. And so I pick down on the B, pick up on the high E, then I pick down on the high E, and then do a hammer-on pull-off, and then I pick down back on the B. So isn't that cool? It's a lot easier. We don't have to move your fingers. So that's going to be the picking of all the different shapes. The next one, and again, I showed you this yesterday on the other video, but it's okay, we'll do it again. All right, so the next one, I take my middle finger, and I put it on the 14th fret of the B. I take my pointer finger, put it on the 12th fret of the high E, and then I'm going to use my middle finger to hammer on and pull off on the 15th fret of the high E. But I'm going to do that same picking. I'm going to leave the pointer finger and the middle finger down. And then I'm going to go to the next one, where I take my middle finger, put it on the 15th fret of the B, my pointer finger on the 14th fret of the high E, and I'm going to use my pinky to hit the 17th fret of the high E. Do the same picking. Again, leave those fingers in place. And I take that last position, and I slide it down where my middle finger is on the 9th fret of the B, my pointer finger's on the 8th fret of the high E, and I'm going to use my pinky to hit the 10th fret of the high E. Okay, so that part's a little bit different. It's basically the same thing, but it's easier. And also, I listened to the isolated guitars, and it sounds like he is doing something like this. I tried to play it without going the diddle, 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 but it sounds like there's something going on. There's two guitars, I noticed. There's two guitars doing something. And so it sounds very much like a diddle, 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 like that triplet kind of thing. I might be wrong, but it sounds, when I play with it, it sounds fine. And so I think this will get you through it. All right, so then the next part we already talked about. No change there. The next part, this is the coolest lick of the song, in my opinion. And here's a good rule of thumb. It's always good to learn new songs. It's always good to learn new solos, because even if you've learned a bunch of solos, of classic solos and everything, when you learn another solo, you may learn another lick that you love that you couldn't do before. I could not do this lick yesterday. This new lick. I could not do it. I had to practice for a couple hours to get it right. Now I got this really cool lick in my tool belt, and so I'm really glad I learned this song. And it's basically what it is I'm taking my middle finger, and I put it on the 10th fret of the B, and I'm bending up. And then so I take a pointer finger, put on the 7th fret of the E, and I pick up. So I pick down, and I pick up on that one. And actually, I get my pointer finger over both strings, the E and the B, on the 7th fret. So I pick up on the high E, and then I pick down on the B. And then what I do, and you can use either pinky or your ring finger. But I use my pinky. Basically, I pick up, and my pinky lands on the 10th fret of the B. All right. And then I bend the 9th fret of the G. Okay. And then I pick the high E again, pick up on the 7th fret. And then I use some pinky, and I land on the 10th fret of the B, and I pull off to the 7th fret of the B. That lick is so cool. And all the solos I know, Eruption, all the Stairway to Heaven, the Led Zeppelin solos, a lot of them, and other solos, I've never come across this particular lick. Okay, so once you do the pull-off, and you land on the 7th fret of the B, this part's really cool too. This part I've never done before either. What I do is I take my middle finger, and I pick down on the 9th fret of the B. And I pick up with my pinky on the 10th fret of the G. I put my pointer finger over all. So basically, I'm having my pointer finger over those 3 strings on the 7th fret for the whole time, basically. So I go. Well, then I pick up on the B when my pointer finger's on the 7th fret, and I pick down on the G. That's the coolest part of the lick, and that's really the part that I haven't really done before. Both this part, I've never really done that before, but this part I definitely haven't done. And it's all on the pentatonic scale. You know, you can know the pentatonic scale and play all these kind of exercises and everything, but until you do something that somebody else does, there's still stuff you can do with it that you didn't know. And then I take my pinky and I put it on the 10th fret of the G. I pick down, pull off to the 9th fret of the G, to the 7th fret of the G. Then I pick down with my ring finger on the 9th fret of the D. Pick up, and so basically I'll put my ring finger over both the D and the G there. So then like I said, I pick down on the D, then I pick up on the G. And then you end up, pick up with my pointer finger on the 7th fret of the G. And then I use my ring finger to hit the 9th fret of the G. And you almost bend, but you don't bend. You kind of do a big vibrato. He doesn't go, I think he does a big vibrato. Sorry. He almost bends. Alright, so that's the next part. That's a really cool lick. The next part, he goes in the same thing. And he even does the same thing here. And that part's the same, but then he does something different. It actually does this the same as well. Same thing there. He goes on. So then when he gets to that part, he does one thing different. He goes, instead of hitting that 7th fret of the G again and going down, I take my ring finger and I bend the 10th fret of the B. And then I unbend it and pick that 10th fret of the D. And then I pick down on the 7th fret of the G. And then I put my ring finger, I land on the 10th or the 9th fret of the G, and then I bend. I take my pointer finger, put it on the 7th fret of the B, and my ring finger on the 9th fret of the G, and I bend it. Then I go 2 frets up and bend it again. And then take my pinky to hit the 12th fret of the B on the B string. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to see more.